The final map of Black Ops 6 Zombies has officially made its way into the game, and with it came a brand new wonder weapon, the Gorgofex. This biological monstrosity of a hand cannon fires high damage rounds at a low rate of fire and can be alternatively charged for a larger, more damaging area of effect. I've seen a few people online say that this thing is weak and needs a buff, but I honestly couldn't disagree more, as once you obtain the variants and max pack-a-punch them, this thing is way better than you might think. Capable of dealing hundreds of thousands of damage per shot with near infinite ammo, and I'm not even joking. Though only one of these variants can be obtained through traditional means per match, which means you need to make sure you pick the variant that will best suit you. So in this video, I'm going to go over each variant in depth and ensure you get the most out of your brand new wonder weapon. If you find this video helpful, all I ask is for a quick like or comment on the video, as it helps me out a ton in the algorithm since I am still quite a small channel. Anyways though, enough yapping, let's begin with the base version of this weapon. The base version of this weapon is a single fire pistol with a charged attack. It has a decently healthy ammo economy, carrying a total reserve of 108 rounds. One quick thing to note here that will greatly improve all variants of this weapon is the Vulture Aid perk located in the Pack-a-Punch room, specifically with the Parting Gift Augment. This right here will basically grant this weapon infinite ammo. As long as you're picking up those ammo packs after killing zombies, you can have 100% uptime on this weapon. Back to the base Gorgofex though, it has a surprisingly low single shot damage of 4,000 and an even lower charge shot AoE damage of 1,000. It cannot be pack-a-punched in its base form, but it can be pack-a-punched after choosing one of the two variants. The charge shot will create a small area of effect that damages zombies and sends them floating into the air if it doesn't outright kill them. This weapon will be effective for a little bit after obtaining it, but you want to make sure you begin working on one of the variants as soon as possible, because the base form of this wonder weapon will not last you very long at all. In fact, the base version of this weapon is actually quite bad when compared to other base wonder weapons like the Raygun Mark II or the Wonderwaff. Thankfully though, this weapon is a whole new beast after obtaining one of the variants, so first let's talk about the Gorgofex C variant, or the blue one. The first obvious benefit of the Gorgofex C is that the quest to obtain this variant is actually quite quick and easy. You can get it done in literally one round if you know what you're doing. This means that if you just want to quickly get the upgrade so that you can go and pack-a-punch it to the max ASAP, the C variant is the best for that. The main difference between the base version and the C variant is the single shot damage is now higher and has a small explosive payload. This means you can damage a lot of zombies at once with one well-placed shot. The charged shot also does much more initial damage before creating that anti-gravity field, and then activating a second damage tick on the floating zombies, ensuring that they almost always die. Just shooting a charged shot at your feet will instantly stun, freeze, and eventually kill all the zombies around you, saving your life. I found this variant to be most effective when spamming the explosive single fire at those smaller clusters of enemies and elites, while using the charge shot on the big hordes after rounding them all up behind me. The single shot DPS also appears to be higher than the charge shot, so spamming rounds at specials and elites will kill them quicker than charging every single shot. This variant is quite similar to the base version, but just juiced up in every way. After max pack-a-punching it, it does a whopping 26,000 damage with a single shot, and the explosive payload has no damage radius falloff. The charge shot does around double that damage, while also having 2 extra AoE damage effects on the floating zombies. This variant is by far the easiest to use and obtain, but it is also the weaker of the two. So finally, let's talk about what I believe to be the best version of this weapon, the Gorgofex N variant, or the green one. This variant has a much lengthier quest tied to it and also comes with some morally questionable choices, as it requires you to quite literally melt Blanchard in acid. But if you do, you are rewarded quite handsomely with the most powerful version of the Gorgofex. This variant is very similar to the C variant in terms of its single fire, still possessing that explosive payload and dealing the same damage, but the real power of this weapon comes from its charge shot. The charge shot now leaves a pool of toxic acid on the ground. This pool will almost instantly melt anything caught in it, as it will deal 13,000 damage per tick, and this is after the already massive initial 65,000 damage that the shot deals on impact. Any zombies caught in the blast will be thrown into the air and then swiftly disintegrated by the acid. Since this pool of acid lingers a little bit after the shot, zombies chasing you that weren't hit by the initial blast can still be killed by that lingering acid. The acid pool also gives it so much more special and elite DPS. This thing can melt the Uberklaus in just 3 shots and literally only 1 shot if you've already disabled his shoulder pads. Not only does this variant do more raw damage with its charge shot than the C variant does, but it's also way more ammo efficient as it can kill way more enemies with way less ammo. Although, again, not that that matters too much though, as with Vulture Aid and Parting Gift, both variants of this weapon basically already have infinite ammo. The Gorgofex N variant is by far my favorite and the most effective, though either of these variants will carry you far, far into the endgame rounds and have so much ammo that you won't need any other weapons to back you up. In my opinion though, I do wish the C variant had something a little more unique to it, like maybe give it chain electricity on the charge shots or change up the fire rate or the fire mode just to distinguish it a little bit more from the base Gorgofex. Regardless though, that is everything I got for you. You really can't go wrong with either of these as they are both extremely powerful once fully upgraded, but I will say you need to get one of the 2 variants because the base version is unfortunately pretty weak on its own. Hopefully this clears up any confusion any of you may have had about this weapon and gives you everything you need to make an informed decision on which variant to choose. If there's anything I missed or anything you want to add to the discussion, I highly encourage you to leave a comment below as I do read all of them. Thank you for watching though, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.